Hello guys, welcome to the another video of Soulmate Pharma. So today's topic of discussion is pharmacovigilance case processing or Icsr case processing, which is individual case safety report processing. So this topic is the most important topic of this pharmacovigilance course, as this will explain how to process a pharmacovigilance case. What do we do basically in the pharmacovigilance database, various database which are available for reporting of adverse events. So this topic will provide a detailed idea about all those things. And also, this is a very huge topic, ICSR, and I have decided to split the video into various parts. So today we will be covering a basic part or only few portion of this ICSR case processing topic, and in subsequent other videos, some other day, we will see the rest of the process of case processing. So now, if you have not subscribed our channel, or then please visit this channel and please watch the video and please like, share and subscribe our video. So guys, please listen to this video very carefully, as it is very important for the field of pharmacovigilance. So now, what is Icsr case processing? So before starting that, in simple layman language, I will explain something. So everyone has some experience of filling application form in via online portal. So during our exams or any sort of job interview, we usually fill application form through various websites. So we have particular set of information available at an organized place handy with us, and from using those information, we just fetch out the important information from that particular area and just we enter in the particular portal, particular website. The website has various tabs. For example, what is your name, then personal details, educational details, then photo, payment. In these way, various tabs are there. So we just basically fill all this information, and after that, once the application form is filled, we just have a form available with us for final preview. So after we preview that form, then this form, just submit the form and we take a printout of that particular form. So this is where somewhat pharmacovigilance case processing, the activity which we do is basically somewhat similar to that only. So for example, another example I am showing. So when we just go to a ticket counter, for a reservation counter, and we just take a reservation form for filling the necessary details, that required train details, our personal details, by which train we want to go, our address, everything we fill in a particular reservation form, and we provide that particular reservation form to the person who is booking the ticket, to the reservation clerk. So that person will enter that particular details in the computer in their various tabs, and after that the person will book a ticket and provide us the printed ticket. So that is the soft copy. The hard copy of the ticket is provided to us. So in pharmacovigilance, the ICSR is somewhat related to that particular form which you are providing to that reservation official. So in ICSR, various information related to that various information related to that particular adverse event which a patient experiences, the details of the patient, any prior medical history, any medications which the patient is taking, along with the particular suspected product, what are the lab data he has undergone, what is the details of the physician, whether he or she wants to contact further regard to this safety department to provide more information. So all these details are provided in the particular individual case safety form, and from there we just collect with pharmacovigilance professional who are just entering all this information in the database. We just collect the important information from the particular forms, because a patient who doesn't have much medical knowledge, so he won't be able to provide the required information, the information in organized way in that particular ICSR form. So we won't be able to submit that particular ICSR form to the regulatory authorities, because regulatory authorities, they need a concise and to the point information. So with pharmacovigilance professional, we just collect those information from that particular, we fetch out those information from that particular ICSR form, and we just enter the important information in the database, and we just generate that SIOMS form or some other reporting forms which we have discussed in our regulatory authorities chapter, that particular, those particular forms which are available for submission to the various countries, like vigilance, then yellow card, then SIOMS form, bears from these all forms. So which is somewhat equivalent to that particular copy of the printed ticket. So we just see that form and just ensure all the things are correct or not, and after that we submit it to the regulatory authority. So this is the basic idea, this is the basic activity which is done in pharmacovigilance field. So basic overview. What is ICSR? So I have covered the basic idea. What is ICSR? I have explained these things. So an individual case study report is a safety service report, service document, which includes information required for reporting the adverse events and problems related to the product and complaints filed by consumers with respect to any product. So whatever a patient is experiencing after taking a particular product of a particular company, it is always instructed to report to the concerned person, to the pharmacovigilance, as per the norms of pharmacovigilance. Because see, a person may experience any car accident or any sort of accident, or may point out any sort of issue with the product or the particular device which is used for administering the product. For example, for administering any liquid preparation, by we use a particular syringe. So any sort of problem associated with the syringe, if any malfunction is reported, that is also instructed to report. Those things can also be reported. And at the same time, if the product is received in a particular package or any strip on a cartoon, so and if there is any sort of tampering or counterfeiting or any sort of problem is detected with that particular package of the product, so those informations can also be reported to the marketing authorization holder or the associated company, or to directly to the regulatory authority. So it is their responsibility to see whether this information will need to be submitted to the regulatory authority or not. It is the responsibility for it is our responsibility, means the pharmacovigilance professional responsibility. But as a patient or a consumer, it is your duty, it is the duty of the particular patient or the consumer to report each and everything, whatever he identifies, be it a silly thing to a very large issue. Means, for example, any sort of tampering or any sort of nausea, headache associated with a particular product, to any sort of critical issues like heart attack, cancer, everything which occurs after taking a product, that should be reported. So here it is already mentioned that any problem related to the product and the complaints filed by consumers will respect to any product. So anything associated with the product or the device which is used for administering the product, those four issues can also be reported to the pharmacovigilance safety department. So safety information is processed in safety database. So basically, so everything, so these things needs to be updated or reported or inputted in computers. So every computer has a database platform to report this information. So some of the important database which are there are Argus, ARISG, AIRS, AVER. These are the databases. So most widely used nowadays in most of the company is the Argus. Argus is very much friendly or user friendly, and as a result, Argus is widely used. So the full form is Analytical Report Gathering and Update System, which is widely used. And ARISG is also used by some of the companies. Even around many companies they use ARISG because it's comparatively it's a cheaper software, cheaper database, and but RSG is bit complicated actually since it was ancient database, so it's bit complicated and it takes some time to fill the required information. So most of the companies they are shifting from RSG to Argus. So full form of ARISG is Advanced Reaction Information System Global. So other softwares are there, AIRS, AVER, but most widely used are Argus and ARISG. And out of these two, Argus is the most widely used. So safety information is processed in safety databases for regulatory purpose and signal detection. Signal detection means what are the adverse drug reactions or protection, adverse drug reaction associated with a particular product. Those are signal detection. ICSR acts as the source of aggregate reporting, signal detection, and risk management plan. So this aggregate reporting RMP will see in our other topics of pharmacovigilance course. So and data generated from ICSR helps monitors patient safety. So obviously those report will include those forms will include all information associated information related to the adverse events associated with the particular drug, and those will be processed, researches will be done, and definitely it will help for the experts to monitor various safety issues or the concerns associated with a particular product. So it will help in patient safety observation. So what is the process overflow? Basically it involves identification of adverse event first of all. So when a when a ICSR form is received, when you just received an ICSR form, our main motto is to identify the adverse event, because patient they don't have particular idea, they may not able to use the particular medical term basically associated which he or she experiences after taking a particular product. So as an expert pharmacovigilance professional, as a qualified person, our responsibility is to identify that particular area, particular section where the adverse event is reported. So we'll just identify that particular area, particular phrase, and we'll just put in database, we'll paste in database, and we'll see the what is the particular code, what is the particular medical term available in our dictionary, which is known as medra dictionary, which we have medra dictionary. So from medra dictionary we'll just try to correlate what could be the exact medical term which the patient is trying to describe. So we'll just see for in that particular dictionary, as we know in manual dictionary, as we see. So in similar way, there is a particular meta dictionary, and in meta dictionary, we just try to find out what could be the particular term for that particular phrase, which includes that particular adverse event. That particular phrase is known as verbatim, event verbatim. So that from particular event verbatim, we'll just try to find out the particular medical term. We'll try to describe that particular event verbatim with a particular medical term. This is the very important and critical and as well as crucial activity in the field of pharmacovigilance. So we'll just quote it with that particular term and we'll submit it to regulatory authority. That means we'll complete all the procedure, and the case, after completing the procedure, it will be submitted to regulatory authority in the form of various forms. As you have said, I have said the CIOMS form or VAERS form or E2B form or YOLO card as or SAT form. So different forms are available. So which I have discussed in our previous video of regulatory authorities. So using that form, it will be submitted to regulatory authority, and regulatory authority, they will review it as they are the main judge here, main person to judge and authorize or to say the final verdict regarding that. So this is the basic activity involved in pharmacovigilance. So I hope I have provided some of the idea regarding pharmacovigilance. So how the activity or what work do you pharmacovigilance professional do here in the in this particular area. So sources of ICSR. So where from these reports which we just use to fetch information, particular adverse event related information, where from these reports are coming actually. So in one word, these are coming from the consumers or the patient who is consuming that particular product. So there are various means of gathering or coming or collecting the report. The patient may directly report to us. They may take the help of the physician. They may report to the physician, and physician may report to the particular associate party. Physician may report to the pharmacovigilance department of a particular company, or the patient may sometimes directly report to the regulatory authority. So if the patient is directly reporting to the regulatory authority, then these are known as active reports. And if the patient is using some other means, for example physician or by means of company, they may directly report to the company, then this company will provide the organized data to the regulatory authority, then these are known as passive report. But what happens in case of active report, that when patient is reporting directly to the regulatory authority, so in various to their websites, so regulatory authorities have their websites designs, and there are various portals available for reporting. Various forms are provided by the regulatory authority, so this they can directly report to this. They can directly go to this websites and they just collect those forms and just fill the form and just submit that particular form. So what happens basically, if the report goes to the regulatory authority also, the regulatory authority, then now they will provide that particular information to the safety department of that particular company, which is the particular company whose product the patient has taken. So regulatory authority will inform us. So the pharmacovigilance professional, the pharmacovigilance department of a particular company, they may also receive report from the regulatory authority even. So regulatory authority is getting the report from the patient, that after that regulatory authority, they are providing the report to us for our information, so that we can collect, also you can have that particular information of the idea of the knowledge of the particular adverse event which a patient has experienced. So there are various sources, basically various channels, various means by through which the reports are being provided or submitted to that particular market authorization holder, but the particular company. So the means could be solicited or as well as unsolicited. So solicited is something which is derived from some organized data collection system. There exists a particular or confined organized system who have some liability to report. That means their job is to collect those reports. They are mandatory. They have mandatory obligations to collect those reports from the patient parties. So means there is no chance, means you have to, means that particular agencies or particular some people are associated with a particular company. This company, they hire some particular people whose duty is to collect those reports. That is their job. So patient will provide the adverse event related report to that particular agencies or particular areas, very particular programs, and those particular people will submit the reports to the regulatory authorities, sorry, to the company, the pharmacovigilance department of the company. So what are those programs, or what are those study programs which are being organized, which are being hired by the particular pharmacy or the pharmacy marketing authorization holder companies? So those could be clinical trials, those could be registries, various post approval named patient use programs or patient support programs, other patient support programs and disease management programs, or some surveys of patient or healthcare providers, or information gathering and efficacy or patient compliance. So these all come under solicited reports. So where they just collect those information from the patient, and they encourage the patient to actively report those adverse events to these agencies. So in US, I have previously said in one of my video that in US there are various pharmacies available. So what does this pharmacy do? They don't only sell or just sell the medications to patient, but they are also involved in collecting those adverse event report. That means their job is not to only sell medications, but also to collect the adverse event reports or any sort of reports associated with the complaint or the associated with the particular product quality. So those reports they also collect, means they do a follow-up with the patient, either by means of call or something else, and they just ask, means whether you have faced any problem with the product which you have purchased from my shop, and what was the issue particularly. So they just do this sort of programs, and they just collect those information and provide this information to the particular company, or the particular company which this product is manufacturing, the company which is manufacturing that particular product. So some other sources as unsolicited sources. So unsolicited sources are spontaneous, various internets, means social media. So people they post various articles in social media, as we all know, and from there are some sort of people authorized by marketing authorization holders, or means just hired by those particular company, and they just keep a track or monitor those posts, and they will collect those information those from those posts which a patient just post or someone is posting in social media sites after taking particular product. The literature source, so various journals publications are also there, other sources like press or other media, then regulatory authorities, etc. So as you can see, so these people or these sort of sources, they don't have any sort of obligations, means it's not their job to provide that report. It is completely up to them whether they are interested to provide a report or not. So those solicited people, the person associated in the solicited category, those had some sort of obligations, means their job is to do that but collect the particular report somehow from the patient. But here you can see a patient or a physician, it's completely their will, their wish. If they wish to provide some report, they can provide. If they wish to call to the regulatory authority or the pharma company, then they can call. Or if they wish to just post a particular topic or particular issue in internet, then they can post. So there is no such obligation that you have to do it mandatorily. So these are known as unsolicited reports, since there exists no such obligations to do such reportings. So these are coming from some unorganized sources. So there is no certainty that this will just come or not. Or so just now moving to the description of this. Solicited reports are those derived from organized data collection system, which include clinical trials, registries, post-approval named patient use program, other patient support, disease management program, surveys of patient or healthcare, or information gathering on efficacy or patient compliance. So as you can see, and I have also described in my previous slide, that these are coming from some organized source. So all these programs are organized to collect such adverse event related information from the patients. Whereas a spontaneous report is an unsolicited communication by healthcare professional or consumer to a company, regulatory authority, or other organization. Example, WHO Regional Center Poison Control Center that describes one or more adverse reaction in a patient was given one or more medicinal product, and that does not derive from a study or in an organized data collection scheme. So the definition here is also self-explanatory, that these are reported by a consumer or patient from a company to a company or to a regulatory authority directly, which is known as active reporting. So each MAH is expected to. So another thing which I just want to inform, that if a patient is just reporting something to the company, so while a first time report, patient is reporting something to a particular company, and now company, it is the duty of a company to ask whether that particular company can contact that patient in future to collect a particular information pertaining to that adverse event or not. So the in a particular company will ask for the consent, if the consent is provided or not. So and the patient will provide that particular consent, yes or no. So if the consent is provided only, then only the particular company will call back that particular patient to collect that information related to the adverse event, or else the company will not contact. So it's something like, in layman language, what we say. So we receive lot of spam call, or sometimes different call from various call centers or telecom services providers, which we don't want actually. So which we are irritated with. So sometimes we don't receive those phone calls, or we have installed various apps like Truecaller, or some other apps are also available with this, and which detects that spam call. So if particular spam call is detected, then we don't receive that call. So idea is somewhat, the thing is somewhat something like that, whether it is the duty of the company to ask the patient whether they want whether they are allowed to contact that particular consumer in future to collect more information. So, or in particular information which is not clear. So if that consent is not provided, if the patient is said that don't call me, or don't mail me, or don't try to contact me in future, so that particular company will not contact the patient until and unless the patient is deliberately calling the particular company and providing some more information. The report will be closed somehow at that particular point only. If some doubt also exists, then the company needs to close that particular report, or submit that particular report based upon the available information which the patient has provided. So in such cases, some of the information might be incomplete, but there are certain norms associated with the particular company. They will judge, they see if that particular report can be submitted somehow or not. They will check every possible ways to submit that particular report. So which is known as conservative approach in the field of pharmacovigilance. This is a very important term, in conservative approach, which is nothing but like this, which is nothing but this only, that using somehow the report will be submitted based upon the available information, and see if the information, the criteria is not meeting, the report is totally, means the information which the patient has provided is cannot be manipulated or adjusted in any of the ways, or it is not meeting the criteria for submission in any ways, in no ways, then that report will not be submitted. That report will be deleted or archived. So this is the basic idea. So the problem occurs basically with the spontaneous report, because these are haphazard calls from patients and they don't have reporting obligations. They may report or they may not report. So for spontaneous report, such problem may occur, where conservative approach may need to be applied. Might need to be applied. So each MAH is expected to regularly screen the worldwide scientific literature. So this is the third point, is talking about the literature cases or the literature reports or literature source. Each MAH is expected to regularly scan the worldwide scientific literature by accessing widely used systemic literature reviews or reference databases. The frequency of the literature searches should be according to requirement, or at least every 2 weeks. Cases from adverse drug reactions from the scientific and medical literature, including relevant published abstracts from meetings and draft manuscripts, might qualify for expedited reporting. So, their company has also, there are some agencies or some particular people working for the company. Their job is to screen or search the various journals, publications, articles. They will just search for those publication journals, and they will screen the particular adverse events which are published in particular journals or publications. So they will just collect those particular literature reports, those abstracts, and they will use those as a ICSR source for reporting as well. So Internet report is a safety report received from regular screening of websites under the management of responsibility of marketing authorization holders for potential adverse drug reaction case reports. MAHs are not expected to screen external websites for ADR reports. However, if they become aware of an adverse reaction on a website that it does not manage, the case should be reviewed for reportability. So, there are certain websites which are controlled or managed by various marketing authorization holders. So it is when patient posts some articles or something, some 1 or 2 line related to adverse event associated to particular report, those information, the screenshots of those things are collected basically. Those screenshots are collected, and those screenshots serve as a source of ICSR. So that can also be an ICSR for the pharmacovigilance professional. So we need to extract the particular information from that particular screenshot, a particular post of the social media, and we just need to enter those information in our database. So if certain websites are there which are not controlled by that particular marketing MAH holder, so those websites, if the particular MAH or someone is big, or particular MAH or the agent of MAH, they are getting aware that a patient has posted something in a particular website which we are not controlling, but if these people, they come across those websites also, they will just see, they will not ignore that particular website which they are not controlling, but they will just see if this can be reported or not, if the reporting criteria are meeting or not. If this criteria are meeting, then that particular information from that which has been posted in that particular website, which is not being controlled by that particular MAH agency, that information can also be taken out for ICSR purpose, for reporting purpose to the regulatory authority. So if someone is coming across any such sort of post, then that can also be considered as a source of report. So those particular criteria, the eligibility criteria to qualify or to qualify for a valid report, that I will discuss in our next chart, next discussion, next topic. Those four criterias. There are some four criterias which qualifies for a valid ICSR report consideration. So again, now regulatory authority or health authority reports are safety reports on serious adverse drug reactions originating from foreign regulatory authorities, and these are subject to expedited reporting to other regulatory authorities by each marketing authorization holders. So as I have said, that some patient may directly report to the regulatory authorities or health authorities, and this health authority now they will just particularly provide that report to us. To us means that particular marketing authorization holder or the particular suspected product holder. The company which is holding that particular suspected product, they will report, regulatory authority will report to that particular company. So resubmission of serious adverse drug reaction cases without new information to the originating regulatory authority is not usually necessary unless otherwise is specified by regulations. So what happens? A particular regulatory authorities, for example, FDA, the regulatory authority, this is the regulatory authority of US. So they are particularly providing some report to a particular company who has taken the particular suspected product. Now, when the report needs to be submitted, now the particular company, they will provide, fetch out the important information, and they will just capture all the information in the database, and those information will be submitted to the regulatory authority. Now the trick is that a regulatory authority is submitting reporting to a company, and again that company will submit that report to the regulatory authority. So which is not allowed basically, because the person who is reporting that particular information, that person has the copy of that particular report. So why should we need to should we submit that report again to that particular person who has reported it? So the what we do in such scenario is that if FDA is reporting for something to a particular company, then we will not submit that report again to the FDA, but will submit those reports to other regulatory authorities. Other regulatory authority means the company, for example, a particular product is not only will not only means will not only be allowed to sell in a particular country, but a company, a drug or a particular brand name product is sold in various countries. So various countries have various regulatory authorities. So if FDA is reporting something, so definitely the report will not be submitted back to the FDA, but to other countries where the product is being sold, where the product is being authorized. In those countries, the reports can be submitted. Those countries means in those countries, in the regulatory, to the regulatory authorities of those countries where the product is being authorized to sold. So excluding that reporting regulatory authority, this ICSR report or that particular process report needs to be submitted to other regulatory authorities where where the product has been marketed. So there is also another source. A pharma company get into licensing agreement with third party to produce or market a drug formulation that the other company has developed. Such agreement is known as SDEA, Safety Data Exchange Agreement, or Pharmacovigilance Agreement. So what happens? There are some pharma company associated with a particular pharma company. For example, there is one company which has marketed or developed just manufactured a particular product. So that company may involve in some sort of partnership with some other company. That means that particular company is deciding to share some of the responsibility to that other company which is it is partnering to. For example, a company, the partnership can be like that also, that a company X company is manufacturing a particular product and it is providing the responsibility for marketing. The marketing responsibility will be handled by that particular Y company. So in this way, company may two companies or some companies may share their responsibilities among each others. So this is also allowed here also. So two companies may share their responsibility. For example, they can mostly they share this responsibility of marketing or the selling of their product, or sometimes the sharing of the manufacturing purchase. Share means raw materials may be supplied by a particular company and manufacturing will be done by some other company, and the marketing will be done by the other company. So these are something with some co-marketer or co-licensing partner. That means they are sharing the responsibility. So such agreements are also possible, and in such scenario what happens is that a company, for example, Y company has got the responsibility to market. So a patient will just consume the product. The patient may experience some sort of adverse event. So the particular patient may report that adverse event to the particular Y company which is involved in marketing. So what this particular Y company will do, Y company will now further report that adverse event to the particular X company, which has that particular PV department and which has manufactured that particular product. So this can also, so these things also occur in the field of pharmacovigilance. So other pharma company or core marketer, the role of co-marketer or the co-licensing partner now comes into action, where this co-licensing partner, they may receive some sort of information for a particular company and they may report for a particular patient, and they may report to the main company who has developed the product. So the partners or particular pharma company or other pharma company can also serve as a source of ICSR reporting. So such agreement which is made between two partner companies, are known as pharmacovigilance agreement or safety data exchange agreement. Partners cases can be either solicited or unsolicited. Again, these reports can be unsolicited or solicited. If partner products is used in study means in clinical trial study or clinical study phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, case will be solicited. Whereas if partner products is already launched and the case occurs during post-marketing surveillance, case will be unsolicited. So it's saying that once the product is launched, once it is available for marketing, so for phase 4, this will be unsolicited or spontaneous. And if it is still phase 3, it is solicited. So guys, that's all for today. Hope you have enjoyed our video. We'll continue with the other parts or other topics of ICSR in our next video. Thank you. Please like, share and subscribe with your friends. Have a nice day guys. Bye bye.